Well, hello and welcome to Base Camp. It is the 2022 TAB Everest preview show here with the TAB. Dave, Stanley, Luke, Marlow. I tell you what, it feels like I'm in Base Camp, mate. The voice, the air's thin up here. Oh,
You're under a bit of pressure, DS. Everything okay?
mate, I'm tell you what, we need to get on the lemon and ginger. I need to sort myself this week.
We do, or something stronger. It's great to have your company, Dave, and to everyone watching at home. It's just an exciting week. We've got the $15 million TAB Everest. The race is built and built each year.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Dave, I can really feel it starting to reach fever pitch now as we close in. This is Base Camp. We're about to climb to the summit.
Before we get into the TAB Everest, let's have a look at some of the funny things that have happened this spring. You know, Luke and I love a laugh. I think we need to laugh more in this game of the racing game.
We do.
First off, check out this. I love this. This was the other day at Canterbury. The boys, well, the ambo got stuck.
Well, DS, you should be in the ambulance the way your voice
mate,
is sounding.
I was.
You're under plenty of pressure here, but this was, we've had that much rain. And the boys, they were doing a little bit of overtime outside the sort of boundaries of their typical work. They're usually shoving horses up into the barrier. This, they were trying to get the ambulance out of a bit of a pickle, DS.
I loved how, too, in the coverage, the great Richard Callender, he said that Brendan Avdulla was going to get out and give the ambo a bit of a push with the guns.
We have got a slight delay with the ambulance being bogged at the top of the straight. The tractor is on the way down there. If all else fails, apparently, Brendan Avdulla's going to go down there and get the shirt off and get the guns out and pull it out himself.
Very, very funny stuff. We've had some greyhounds, yourself and I. Very slow greyhounds. What about this bloke at Mackay, though, who was having the time of his life?
We'll have a look at him. He's just bounding over the track there, having a great time. I think he was an invader. I don't know if they fined him the 10,000 or not, but they dead set should have. He held up the meeting for about 40 minutes up there at Mackay, and look, us Queenslanders, we get away with a little bit.
And the Mullets, speaking of Queensland, this is from Ipswich Cup Day. This is a little while ago, but the Mullets, the wet weather's been around Sydney, as we know, and the fish, well, they love the water. Mate, the Mullets, they're back. They're well and truly back.
Are you a fan? Are you rapping this sort of stuff, DS?
You know what? I'm not... Anyone that can do that with their hair, considering I've hardly got any, I'd take my hat off to you. You can do whatever you want.
Ipswich Cup Day looks like it'd be
Loose.
our type of
Loose.
scene, I think. Yeah.
But you'll see them at Royal Randwick. And it doesn't matter what racetrack you'll go to this spring, you'll see a mullet, and you'll see it being worn so proudly.
Absolutely. It's part of our culture, us Aussies.
Well, that's the funny stuff out of the way. On a serious note, this race has really, really changed the way, I guess, racing is conducted in this country. The audience that the Everest gets, mate, it's incredible. And you've got to take your hat off to Race New South Wales. They did something different, and the crowds are back.
Absolutely, Dave. And you're right, it brought new eyes on the sport. The young demographic have really got behind this race. The atmosphere and the build-up to this is like nothing else I've experienced in racing. Everyone's paused, they're ready, they're preempting the big explosion out of the gates when these horses get underway, and you've seen it copied across all three codes. The slot races have become part of the calendar, but the Everest, it's the OG, Dave. It is the big one, $15 million, biggest turf race in the world. It doesn't get much better.
It certainly doesn't. So much so, in fact, hang on, I think we've got the TAB phone going off here. We've got a mystery caller on the line. Is this correct? I'm hearing we've got a mystery caller. They want you and I to hear this audio and guess who this race caller is. So I've just been told a famous sporting star who believes they are a better race caller than you, Luke. I don't know if we can...
Let's be honest, to be better than me, it wouldn't be hard. So let's hear him have a crack, DS. I tell you, it's not the easiest job in the world.
I see what he's doing.
See how this person goes. Let's have a listen.
Classic Legend starting to wind up out wide, but it's a nature strip in front at the 300. Eduardo now starting to get himself into the race. Lost and running midfield, starting to respond to Huey Bowman. Classic Legend now is flying down the outside. Nature strip at the 100 metres. It's his race. Hang on. Here comes Masked Crusader. Masked Crusader. No! It's Nature strip. From Masked Crusader, Eduardo third.
Do we know who that is?
We do.
I could have a guess.
I know who it is.
Who is it?
I think he should probably stick to his regular segment on Big Sports Breakfast. But that's a solid 7.5 out of 10 for me. That has got to be the great Laurie Daly, has it not, DS?
Well, let's see who it is. They're going to reveal this is the review. It is the great. Let's watch him here because he's shown so much passion on the field. There was a bit of passion in that call there from Loza. Let's see what it's like.
Lost and running midfield, starting to Respond to Huey Bowman. Classic Legend now is flying down the outside. Nature Strip at the 100 metres. It's his race. Hang on. Here comes Masked Crusader. Masked Crusader. No! It's Nature Strip from Masked Crusader. Eduardo third.
I'll tell you what.
He liked that.
That is brilliant.
You can see that from Loz there at the end there. Look, he's
loving it.
He would have done that with some crew and he'd be looking at him going, oh, I've done pretty good there. I've done pretty good there.
He can do it all. That was great. The passion late. I liked the crescendo. He nearly went the crow. He said, Nature Strip, it's his race. Hang on, Masked Crusader. But Loz, top marks. Brilliant stuff. That was good to watch, DS.
Well, let's talk about the 2022 version or an edition of the TAB Everest. It's going to be an absolute beauty here. You've got a couple of key runners you want to highlight.
Yeah, I do, Dave. I thought we'd have to start with the TAB horse. I mean, we'll get the bullet if we don't. Lost and running. And he ran fourth in the race last year, but Dave, I think he's a much improved horse. This is him in the Premier. Now, Bowman said after this race, I couldn't wait any longer.
Yep.
We all know what that's like on a Friday after a big week. You just can't wait any longer for that refreshment. And Huey was going that good on Lost and Running that he just said, no, I'm pulling out 3 deep. He started to roll into the race. He claims Marzu. Back to the inside, there's Special K. Masked Crusader dives back to the fence, but he's pretty much got the race won at this point, Lost and Running, and Bowman's just keeping him going under hands and heels. That is a great Everest lead-up run. Marzu, Masked Crusader, take nothing away from them. They were good. Overpass, he struck the real wet track that day. He didn't really like it, but he was still honest. So the Premier, I think most horses who hold a slot in the race got a tick out of that. And then we have a look at this horse.
Yeah.
This is the Golden Rose winner. Now, Jacquino, he ran brilliant sectionals in the Golden Rose at 1,400 metres. He's been kept fresh for a tilt in the TAB Everest. Here he is. He's way back in the field, just getting off heels there now, and he comes with a withering burst down the outside.
This is huge.
This is enormous. He's a quality 3-year-old. We know, Dave.
Yeah.
Yes was a 3-year-old when he won the race a few years back, so the formula works.
Well, that horse there, Golden Mile, who we see win Caulfield Guineas.
That's exactly right.
So some form to come out of the race, and with that's in secret, Fireburn, etc. So there's another horse that I want to highlight, and it comes out of the Joe Pride stable, and it is Private Eye. This win in the Gilgai, I mean, this horse can do anything, really, when you think about it. He's versatile. Just hearing the way Joe speaks to him when Luke and I have spoken to him on radio, he just got clear air here and he was just ready to roll. And you know what I loved about this, though? I loved how he put this field away and then just kept running through the line. We know he'll get further, but he's in the race now. Great coup, by the way, for Joe Pride and Bjorn Baker, 2 Warwick Farm stables, to get 2 horses in the race. I think it's a big coup.
Big ups to them. And Private Eye, I think he is one horse. He'll want it a little bit on the improve this track.
Yeah.
He won't want a real heavy 10. So we've got to be on weather watch in the next couple of days.
I think it's going to be better than last week. The other thing, too, is there's so much speed in this race.
Yeah.
He could just be out the back with a Masked Crusader. Look, he mightn't be you wouldn't go putting your house on to be winning the race, but I think for exotics, first fours, trifectas, I think Private Eye, definitely.
Should we have a look at the King now?
Yeah. Who, J-Mac or the horse?
Well, both, right? I mean, both are airborne. This is Nature Strip winning the shorts. We've got a few other slot holders in this. Eduardo led up. The thing with this race, Dave, if you go by the clock, they actually didn't go out that fast for the class. And I don't think that played to Eduardo's strengths. I think he's a speed horse. But the Strip, he switched off in behind. He relaxed. He's just in a great vein of form and he's in a really good space since having the overseas trip. Lost and Running lost no admirers. He was 4 wide the trip here. And Marzu was only first up. He raced a bit fresh. Masked Crusader back on the inside. We haven't seen Nature Strip since. We've seen a few of the horses behind him. He is second up in this year's TAB Everest Nature Strip because of the overseas trip. That's how it falls for him. Second up, his last 4 preparations, he's been beaten. However, he is at his absolute peak in his career now, and I think the second up form, I don't think it's an issue.
Well, recently for TAB, myself and Luke did a famous Yeah Nah YouTube clip on the TAB socials. You can head to the TAB's YouTube page to have a look at that. But a simple question, yeah, nah. Will Nature Strip win the TAB Everest? Can he be beaten, yeah or no?
Can he be beaten? I think historically, yes, he can be beaten.
You got to give a yeah nah.
Well, I'm half fence sitting.
I'll
I'm half fence sitting, aren't I? I'm soft. You're going to
say yeah. I think he can be beaten. There's just too much pressure in the race. He is the king, but he needs so much to go his way. And, you know, with racing, there's no such thing as a moral.
When he's at his absolute peak, He's been almost invincible in the last 2 or 3 seasons. But I think there's a few improvers. He can only regress. He's at the top. It's like the Panthers. When they played to their best, no one could knock them over. But they were still beaten a few times in their regular season. Exactly. So things can happen. But, look, I think he can be beaten as well, to be honest.
All right, that gets us to the nitty-gritty then. Who are we going to have our hard-earned on when it comes to this TAB Everest on Saturday, 2022's edition? What are you going to have your hard-earned on, Luke?
Well, Dave, I think Nature Strip during the week, he's been rock-bottom odds. He's been like odds on $1.90 for the race at stages. So I thought at that price he was a little bit too short. I think he could continue to get out. For me, the bet in the race is Lost and Running. I just think he ran 4th in it last year. He's a much improved horse this season, and he's trained to the absolute minute. So I think if you're talking wagering on the race, he represents the value to me.
All right, I'm going to stick with Private Eye. I think Private Eye, there's going to be lots of pressure up front. I loved his win in Melbourne. I loved hearing the way Joe Pride talks about him, and I just think he is going to run one hell of a race when it comes to Saturday. So we're going. Interesting, 2 horses there that probably will be attacking the line late. They won't be right up there on speed. So Lost and Running for Luke and myself is Private Eye. And don't forget, punters, to check out the new TAB app. All the offers for TAB Everest Day 2022 are up as we speak. Well, folks, we hope you've enjoyed Base Camp as much as we have. I'm going to go and get on the lemon and ginger. I've got a big week ahead. Got to look after myself. You enjoy your Saturday, Luke.
Yeah, you too, Dave. Enjoy it, everyone. It doesn't get much better than this. This is the grand final. This is the TAB Everest on Saturday. 15 million reasons to get out to Randwick and soak up all the action.
Yeah, it is one of the best race days in the world. Whatever you're doing on Saturday, make sure you're near your TAB app or you're near Sky Racing. You won't miss a beat. And if you see us at the races, come and have a good one.